All right, this video is a quick one. It's going to be an explanation why I'm going to explain why you can't. This what you see here is a an attempt to do single pole switching and return the flyback to one battery. Okay? And I'm going to explain why you can't do it. You just can't. So, you close the switch here. You charge up the coil, the drive coil, with plus through the switch to minus. Okay? Coil charges up. And that's your polarity. Here is plus on this side of the coil, and minus gets touched to the other side of the coil. Okay, and then the flyback happens, and in here you have the polarity of the flyback, plus and minus. Right? So I added some diodes, I removed the charge battery, and I want to explain what happens here. So basically the flyback cancels on the line right here. Okay, so the plus comes out the diode and hits the negative of the same flyback and cancels. It's like shorting out the coil. So it never makes it to the battery. It never, it never gets to here. Okay, that would be the path for the flyback to go through the primary battery. It will never get there because it'll just, it'll cancel out on the line before it goes to the battery. Right there. And, you can't add a diode here. Even if you did, it will still cancel on the line here. If you added a diode here to stop it from canceling on the line, it would also be pointless. Because then the power from the battery cannot get to the coil to begin with and charge up the coil. So it'll basically turn off the circuit by putting the diode where you see it here in green. But yeah, that diode would also stop the flyback from canceling to itself. And it would allow it to go like so and charge up the battery. But, like I said, having this diode here, you're not going to be able to charge up the coil to begin with. So it's pointless. So there's your explanation. If you guys need to rewind this and play it again because you didn't get that, by all means, do that until you understand what I'm saying here. So you cannot modify the single pole switching method of the Bedini SG to fly back into this single battery. You can't take out the charge battery and if you're doing this single pole. But you can use the double pole switching method that I'm trying to show everyone here to do this with a single battery. And if you want to see that circuit, just search on my channel single battery as the keywords, and you'll find the single battery flyback double pole circuit. Very easy to put together. And there's also a two coil circuit that does the same thing with double pole switching. And yeah, it's just a lot easier than going other routes that I've seen people do with. So yeah, you have to put all that back. You have to do it the way Bedini designed this, with the extra battery, the charge battery, and the single pole switching. That works just fine. But then again, when you do it this way, you have to swap these two batteries manually, okay? Here it says, in this setup, batteries are not rotated. Yeah. which basically means you have to rotate them once the charge is full. You have to, and the drain in the source is empty. You have to swap their positions manually, or use a circuit to do it. And I've seen people put together circuits to do it, and it's a lot of components and a big mess, a lot of extra components, and basically it's just a lot of nonsense. You just double pole switch it, and you get past using all these extra components and doing all this extra circuitry for nothing when you can double pole switch it. And you could fly back into the source battery. People will argue that you need to use a charge battery all by itself to receive flyback, and you can't do it with a double pole switching and all that and fly back to the same battery, which is ridiculous because you're doing the same thing with the double pole circuit. You're flying back to the source, the single battery, and that's all that the battery's receiving as far as charge goes is flyback. And it's the same thing going on with this circuit. This battery, all it receives is flyback. The only difference is it's never loaded, and if you want to reduce the load on the drive battery while it's receiving flyback, simply put 5 or 10 of them together, and do the single battery flyback circuit with the double pole switch. Only thing is you use 5 or 10 batteries as the source, and that way you eliminate any real load going on those batteries, and the flyback will return back to those batteries. So that's that. And I just wanted to explain that real quick. Where is it? There it is. So here's your double pole, double throw, 2 batteries, flyback circuit. And this will capture the flyback. So this one will get charged and it'll fly back into here. And then this coil will get charged and fly back into here. And there's also a double pole, double throw switching circuit where it's just one battery. Okay. It's just one battery. And one coil. And you can find that circuit on my channel. One battery, one coil. This battery will charge up this coil and it will fly back into the same battery using the double pole switch and the circuit I put together for that. All right, hope you guys enjoyed that. It's a quick one. Yep, over and out.